and gentlemen, in a word, Cher.
You think that's bad? Wait till you see this.
Where am I? Who are these two fairies? Wagon wheel with Toozy. Oh, it's a podcast? You've got to be fucking kidding me.
Hello, lovelies. Welcome back to Chermoir.
Oh, yeah.
Cher, the memoir, the podcast, in brackets, part one. I don't know if it's in brackets. It's not in brackets.
No,
is it?
it's just a colon.
More colons.
More
There's
colons.
already 7 colons.
There's 100 colons. There could be 100 colons in a room and 99 don't do whatever colons do. But all you need is one, etc.
All you need is one. All I can think now is of that video you sent me.
What video did I send you?
Human centipede.
Oh, yeah. How many colons do you think were in there?
No, not one that was healthy anymore.
No, that was semicolons by that point.
They were very semi by that point, indeed.
Font chat.
Oh my god. This again, we've gone off the rails at the start. This is the podcast where we go through Cher's memoir, which is called Cher, the memoir, part one. And we go through each chapter. I read the book because I'm literate, and you listen to it because you love the sound of Cher's voice.
I do. And Stephanie.
And Stephanie. And also, you know, you are a musical person.
Yeah.
You have albums. Anyone wants to get onto Possible Prince X,
Thank
you
you.
can get some of Posh's lovely dulcet tones. You don't just have to listen to them in this podcast. There are other songs.
Yeah, real ones, actual songs.
Real ones that he sings. But should we get into the gist of it?
We should, because, and you can tell me what that is because I don't have it in front of me. I've only got my notes.
Well, we start off with this bit.
If I could turn back time.
Yeah, we're turning back time,
yes.
recapping the last chapter, which is Cher Perm Trauma.
Trauma?
Trauma.
All right, Jamie Lee Curtis.
It's about trauma. Cher Perm Trauma is cut short, literally with scissors, then figuratively by the birth of a sister.
Yes.
Cher cements herself into the gay firmament by meeting Judy Garland and Liza Minnelli.
I don't want to know what the gay firmament smells like. Just quietly.
It's never quite set, so you can't write your name in it. And Liza spontaneously sings Somewhere Over the Rainbow, which we will discover at some point is problematic for about 8 different reasons. And that is our recap, or as we call it, Turning Back Time.
Oh, thank you for reminding me what the segments are that I made up myself.
Our next segment
Yes.
is called I'm Cher, I've Always Been Cher, and it's where we get the poshnopsis. Let's go.
I'm Cher, and I've always been Cher since I was this big.
Do you regret anything?
Oh, almost everything.
All right, are we ready?
Yes. Do you want me to sing it? No.
Can you sing it as Cher? Have you done that yet?
Yeah, I did it in the first one.
We are on chapter 5 of Chermoir.
Poshnopsis.
And this chapter is called I'm Moving On. Do we know what song that is?
It's a song called I'm Moving On.
Yes.
There is a song called I'm Moving On. Who was it? Maybe she did it once.
Oh, maybe.
I'm wondering if all of these songs, it's Rascal Flatts, and also,
I feel like it's not. I feel like there's another. I don't think it's going to be Rascal Flatts.
and Kelly Clarkson.
Even better. Perfect.
Who else sang I'm Moving On? Oh, there's a Hank Snow song from the 50s.
Let's say it's that. That seems more.
Let's say it's that.
Okay. All right, let's
Sherry.
Let's do it. Baby Cher gets a tricycle as a Christmas gift and decides it's time to go. Freedom at last. Then at 5, she decides to run away for real. She told her mum, packed her suitcase, but decided to wait until tomorrow because the sun was setting. This was very me. My mum would tell me that I would pack my little bag and I would put my teddy in it and maybe like a little snack or
snack.
I mean, we couldn't afford an LCM at that point. And I'd, pack my bag and I'd storm off and I'd go around the corner, but it was, everyone knew me. It was a small street. And I remember one time my dad turned around, came up the road on his way from work. I'm like, crap, he's found me. I can't
found me
run
running
away
away.
now. Now, what's interesting is Cher gets about 2 sentences in and then decides to pass to Stephanie. She's like, I'm not feeling this one.
Oh my God.
So we have already passed to Stephanie. And half of this time was me telling you about when I would run away. So Cher's
You didn't
just
even
not-
notice Stephanie turn up. You
No.
were too busy thinking about your running away.
Exactly. But
See, I was the opposite. My mum was constantly threatening to send me to the naughty boys' home, to the point where she packed a bag and put me at the front one day and shut the door on me.
God. I'm sure that hasn't come up ever again.
Trauma.
Trauma Lee Curtis. She's here. Oh my God. Now, so Stephanie's here. Thank you. Thank you, Stephanie. Now living with just her mum and G, Cher was unhappy. Walking home with her Anita. I'm guessing who's that meant to be?
Anita was like her friend.
Oh,
that
I've
we
just written
never
too many
meet
words.
again.
Yeah, so Mariah
was-
Ian.
This is a weird thing that happens. Like I thought it was just a weird, odd thing that happened in the last couple of chapters, but I've realised it's going to be an ongoing thing where we meet someone and they
don't
seem
know
like
who
the
they are.
most important person in
Yeah.
the world, and then we never hear from them again.
Yeah, or we find out where G is, but we don't know who she is. Where she is, we know.
Oh, there's one of those in this. Is it
Yeah,
in this chapter?
probably.
Yeah.
So, walking home with Anita one day, Cher tossed her lunchbox away because it never had bananas, even though Cher didn't like them anyway. That's me. I'm not a banana fan.
I love bananas.
But I'd still be upset if I didn't get them. You know?
Yeah. If everyone else had one and you didn't get
I
one,
don't know,
you'd
why
want
didn't
one.
I get one?
Even though you didn't want one.
Didn't want one. She spotted a horse and decided that she and Anita should steal it. Let's steal that horse.
Yeah.
Up they popped on the oldest horse in the world until they were stopped by a barbed wire fence and a railway track. They jumped over the fence and played in the stationary boxcars. But oh wait, the train is moving.
Oh, it's a lot.
It is a lot. Anita is upset, whoever she is. But Cher loves it. Cher's like, let's go. I'm ready.
Can I posit, given there's so much inveterate name dropping that comes in the next couple of chapters, I'm going to suggest it's Anita Baker.
Okay. Sure.
You know how she met Liza and Judy Garland? Even though we're not entirely sure that that's them.
Yeah.
This is Anita Baker.
There's
I
a
was
very,
friends with Anita Baker when I was a little kid. I knew Anita Baker. We're totes besties.
There's a very famous actor coming up, and I point out this very issue. She's just populated a book with famous people. Like, they weren't really there, but someone was there. We'll say it was Anita Baker.
Yeah, it was Anita Baker.
So they jump off at a loading station because Anita's upset.
In Anita Bakerville.
Yes, exactly. And they find a railway worker, and he gives them money to call home. So to call the Bakers, Mr. and Mrs. Baker.
Mr. and Mrs. Baker.
Georgia was glad that Cher wasn't dead. So that's something.
That's a relief.
Yeah, thanks,
Yeah.
Georgia. But she was mad about the lunchbox. She's like, I paid $3.50
Where's your
for that
lunchbox? You had a lunchbox. I can take the lunchbox on the horse, Mum. Come on.
Yeah, so it's silly. Stealing, as I say, stealing a horse and riding a train without a Mikey, I can handle, but not the lunchbox.
Not the lunchbox.
Not the lunchbox.
Riding a train without a Mikey. So Melbourne. We don't even need our Opal cards here. You can tap on with an
I
F
know,
box.
it's so annoying.
It's so the future.
Yeah.
And in Melbourne, I discovered, because Gary and I were there at Christmas, and we tried to tap on with our Mikey cards at the train station, and the guy looked at us because the doors weren't opening, and he goes, "You don't actually tap, you just hover above it." I'm like, "Why the fuck is it called tapping on?
Right?
If you have to not tap?"
And I tap all the time and it works.
Yeah, no, these are the
So-
doors at Flinders Street. They don't... Do you go through Flinders Street, in and out?
I mean, I
Or do
have,
you-
but not often.
Yeah, it's those doors only hover. It makes no sense. It is the most Melbourne thing of all time.
Yeah.
To not tell you that that's the thing that you're not meant to do. To call it something, but then that's not how you work it.
No. That's silly. Why would you think that? So when Cher got home from Flinders Street, she was grounded, but she didn't care because the adventure was worth it.
Adventure was
She
worth
was like,
it.
this is me now.
I'm an escapologist.
Yes.
I go on adventures.
I do. Cher ventures.
Cher
By,
ventures. And
It's just Cher. Adventures.
And Cher. I'm going to stop doing these.
It's still fun though. By the time
Adventures. Sorry.
yes. Cher ventures.
Almost as good as the Cher chair.
Oh, the Cher chair. I hope people saw that on the video version. We should
Oh my
point
God,
out, because I forget to tell people, we're on YouTube as well, and you can watch
We
us
are.
be wild if you like.
Yes.
And sometimes we'll put up photos of things.
Yeah, sometimes the video doesn't work, and so I
Yeah.
just replace it with things, including the most disturbing image that the internet made for me with an AI thing of Cher as a cushion.
And Cher in prison was confronting too.
Oh, yeah, that
'cause
was weird.
It was very close up. It was like you could see the horror in her face.
I know, it's so strange.
So by the time Cher was 10, Mima and Georgia would
Double
bet,
digits!
yeah, they would bet that Cher wouldn't make it past 21. Okay, Cher, we're not going to do anything about it.
Confidence, Mama.
Yeah, we're not going to do anything about it, but she probably will be dead. Cher tells us that she was shy, but would flip on a dime and do something outlandish, including sending bugs in the mail to Uncle Mickey, who hates insects. I don't know if she licked a stamp and sent it that way. She might have just given it to him in person.
No, I
It's
think she
not
just
clear.
gave it to him
Yeah.
with her hand scrawled, because he then pushed it in her face.
Yes, she receives a bug to the face for her efforts. Around this time...
Potato bug. I don't even know what a potato
I had to Google
bug is.
it.
Is it gross?
No, I think I just Googled, not images, I just Googled, is it real? And it is. Is this a real thing or is it a Cher thing?
Cher made up a
Cher
bug.
made it up. Around this time, they moved into Cher's favourite home in the Valley. They had wallpaper and matching bedspreads, so Cher thought they were
cute.
rich. Like,
I
we
thought
are
that when we had
rich.
wallpaper too.
See,
but
for me, it
there
was,
in the house that we rented.
It was if we went to someone's house and they had Kellogg's Cocoa Pops, because we only had home brand Cocoa Pops, and
Yeah.
they had Disney,
The Aldi.
because we didn't have Disney. We had, like, our Little Mermaid was blonde and Ursula was thin because she couldn't afford to eat. So whereas the real, one is voluptuous because she has the money for cake, and we didn't have that. And the other thing was we had a sedan. And my best friend's family had a station wagon, which I called a fat boot. Because
fat boot?
we had a skinny boot, they had a fat boot. And their seatbelts disappeared into the car, and ours just hung.
Hung around.
And I was like, look how fat, they must be rich.
I'm so old. When seatbelts became compulsory, my dad had to install them himself in the car.
You know what?
And
I
I'm
think
pretty sure they didn't work.
I
They were
think we
just
did have one
straps that hung
car
around.
without seatbelts, which was like a
With a
mini
bench seat at the
Minor.
back that you could slide up and down.
I think so.
Do
We had
shows on.
a mini Minor that I was actually taking. Like when Mum was pregnant with me, that's how we were ushered to the hospital. And I don't think it had seatbelts. So
No.
I'm here somehow. I'm here. Best of all, though, in this situation is that Jake lived close by. Whoever she is,
Oh my God, Jake.
Jake.
Who, good on you, Jake. Who's
Jake.
Did we meet Jake in the last chapter?
We met Jake.
Okay.
But they're very important, obviously. So I say, once again, Cher launches into talking about someone we've never heard of as if we know them. Thankfully, this time she does give us some detail.
Oh, she gives us a tiny context.
Yeah, that Jake
Love a context.
is George's best friend, kind of a second mum to Cher at times.
Yeah.
Everyone liked Jake, all of us. Like you and I
And she
included.
sang.
And she did. Even her colourful son, who would burn things. Everyone, even he liked Jake.
The son is, he's a serial killer in the movie.
Definitely.
Really.
So as he said, she was a singer, and Cher loved her rendition of All the Things She Said by Tattoo. Or some other song. Yeah.
Have you seen Honora?
No.
The Academy
I'm hearing
Award-winning
it's good.
film. It's great, but my favourite thing is that it opens with a Take That song, and one of the pivotal moments is over All the Things She Said.
Thank God. as it should be. The classics, classical music.
Classics, classic
yeah,
hits
absolutely.
of strip bars.
Yeah, remember how they were faux lesbians? Like, and that
They were
was
the
like,
best.
oh my god, they might be lesbians. They're thinking about being lesbians.
I used to describe them as the band invented by spam, because Russian teenage lesbians feels like every spam you've ever had in the world, trying to solicit your eyeballs.
That's very true.
Click here for Russian teenage lesbian schoolgirls.
In the rain. Oh my god, it's so true.
They really spam.
So that was tattoo chat. That's my fault. It's my fault.
No, I'm happy for tattoo chat.
So it was a different song, but I didn't know it. It just sounded a bit like that song. So decades later, when Jake was dying, so we've jumped ahead just a smidge.
I love that we get Jake's entire history in a paragraph.
Yep. So
We
decades.
meet Jake. Jake sings a song. I'm sorry, Jake's no longer with us.
Yeah. So decades later, when Jake was dying, Cher came to see her, saying, "What the fuck? Wake up, bitch!" And
I'm going to commission an entire series of telemovies starring, various telemovie stars.
Lacey.
Your Laurie Loughlin's,
Melissa
your
Joan
Lacey
Hart.
Chabert's, Melissa Joan Hart. And in each one, Cher will make an appearance for 1 minute.
Yeah.
Because it's an entire movie based on 2 sentences
Yeah.
in this book.
I mean,
And we'll
that's
have
Dolly
the
Parton does
entire
it.
histories of Jake. Yeah.
Yeah. So Cher can do it.
Amazing.
I
into
would
it.
watch those shows, all of them.
Yeah.
I am at some point. We are going to have to do some Lifetime movies. Like I'm
we are.
already like I sent you one about Melissa Joan Hart in a wig that I was very excited about.
I thought she was playing the wig at one point, but I didn't recognise her.
It was sometimes she
Definitely
plays
Zaniga as a pencil vibe.
it is. I also love that sometimes in these movies she's still a teenager. Sometimes she's a mum. Sometimes she's a grandma. It depends. It's like, oh, we'll see.
Whatever my vibe is this week, I have range,
Yeah.
darling. I
Yeah.
have range.
Exactly. So yeah, Cher was like, "Wake up, bitch," which cheered Jake up enough to sing "Tattoo" one last time, and then she carked it.
But Cher wasn't there for the carking.
No,
She was just there for the waking up
yeah,
and the sharing up.
yeah,
And then the carked it happened off screen
yeah, yeah.
and off page and out of Cher's sphere of experience.
That's actually how the movie ends. Cher shows up at the very end to say that to Lacey Chabert, who's dying.
Yeah, like an angel.
And then she walks out, and the camera follows Cher, and we don't know what happened.
It's just a capture on the screen. She died.
And then Cher sings a song. Probably all the
Cher
things she
does a
said.
cover of the song that she sang.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
she sings
exactly.
the song twice, and then Cher does a cover at the end.
Yeah.
And in concert in Vegas somewhere else.
End
Nothing to
credits.
do with the story. I love
Oh my
this
God.
movie. Green light it now.
Done. I'm ready. Uncle Mickey was Cher's favourite, even though he smushed a bug in her face. He was tall and blonde and totes bangable,
Oh my God.
apparently. Mickey's wife, Rita, because you can't say
Rita.
Rita, you got to say Rita.
Do you remember Rita the Eater?
What?
Oh, you're too young. When I was a kid,
The Eater Eater?
they used to really go hard on advertising margarine
Oh.
because, everyone knew that butter was good, but margarine you could spread.
Right.
And so there was a margarine brand called Eater, which is ETA, and some strange redheaded woman would just turn up at your, you'd be making sandwiches for the netball game, and the butter would be rock hard, and she'd be like, "Oh, don't worry, I've got the Eater," and she was Rita the Eater.
I hate Rita. Let's all hate Rita for a second.
She was kind of Rhonda and Katut, but before, without Katut.
Yes.
She just
Was
had
it
the
Rhonda
margarine.
Birchmore? Was it?
It might have been.
Can you imagine? So
She had Paula Duncan spray and wipe vibes.
Oh
Rita the Eater.
yeah.
Yeah.
I actually called a bird Ajax because of that ad. I couldn't think of a name for him, and Ajax that ad came on. I was like, Ajax, that's cute for a bird. All right. He was great.
I had several goldfish called Mariah.
Of course you did. Mine are all called Goldie, but after Goldie Hawn, not
Oh,
Goldfish.
bless.
That's a lie, but it sounds camp. So Rita was a dance teacher,
Rita.
and she once had her legs crushed while she was trying to buy ice. Frozen water, not the drug, just to clarify that.
Yeah.
There
Because
was
in the old days, there were no freezers.
no, you had to buy ice.
Like a refrigerator worked by putting a big block of ice in it
It's true.
that you had to go and buy from the shops that they cut from actual ice and then shipped it.
Yeah,
Like it was crazy.
and you can see
it's a-
how mistakes can happen in ice fetching.
Transporting. There's a really good ice bit at the start of what is that movie? Is it Fist of Fury? It's some Bruce Lee movie.
Is that a
where-
Christmas movie? Is that what a Christmas colon movie?
Different kind of fist. It's like a Bruce Lee movie, and he works at the ice factory.
Okay.
And then it's always ice sliding around. It's terrible.
Wee. Sliding. Oh, that sounds fun.
I find it fascinating that there was ice before we could make it at home. Like it's
Yes, there were lots of things before we could make it at home. Actually, lots of things existed before. Anyway, ice existed in the ocean.
once upon a time you had to make your own mayonnaise.
It's like now I'm picturing like you thought that the iceberg the Titanic crashed into was made in lots of people's freezers, and they just put it there.
All joined it up.
Right, so she's had her little legs crushed because she'd gone to buy ice, and I said there's an unfortunate mix-up as she'd asked for the ice to be crushed, not her legs.
Oh,
You know, but I see how that
it's
confusing.
is an amazingly long way to go for that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it.
But when the doctor said, hang on, sorry, I've lost myself. Oh, so, you know, she's got her legs crushed, but as Jake would say, come on, it's done. Like she did about burning the car chairs.
It's
whatever
already
it's done
happened.
now.
You can't
know,
change
no,
it.
Get
Like,
over
it's,
it, Rita.
you know.
The doctor said that she would lose one of her legs, but Cher told her to just be athletic and powerful, and Rita healed. So she has continued her dance classes to this very day.
Yep.
Thanks to that
Cher
advice from
helped her
Cher.
overcome any disability.
Yeah.
Because she has the power to overcome
Yeah.
any disability.
Yeah.
Anything.
Because she's athletic.
She's athletic.
Yeah.
Yep.
Stupid. For Halloween, so we're at Halloween now. Cher was finally allowed to wear makeup. Yes, it's haunted. The podcast is now haunted in more ways than one. It's a haunted look on my face. So Cher was finally allowed to wear makeup because it was Halloween. She would dream up plays to perform for her family and even
my
put
God.
on a performance of Cherklahoma at school, playing almost every character in Oklahoma, as you
I
do.
loved that so much.
So
my cousins used to want to do shows to Greece, but apparently I always had to be Rizzo.
Yeah, makes sense.
I don't know why.
Don't know. I would like to be.
All my cousins were female.
Yeah.
I could have been like Kaniki, but they wanted to do
I'm
Grease
sure.
Lightning, so
I'm sure it was them. I'm sure it wasn't you demanding to
like-
be Rizzo.
yeah, I had to be Rizzo.
I
I had to be Bosley when we
unfortunately-
played Charlie's Angels,
Oh,
but
no.
apparently I had to be Rizzo.
Devastating.
I just had to be anyone in the musical that didn't have a good song.
Aw,
I know.
that's not fair. Have you seen the thing going viral of a guy not understanding that Chicago is set in prison?
Oh my god, no.
They're trying to. They've watched the musical and then they're trying to explain to him. He's like, I thought it was just a club, and they're like, yeah, but she shot a guy and they were all dancing in prison. And it's like, oh no, I just thought they were just dancing on stage. It's like 2.5 minutes, and he does not get it.
God.
It's very fun.
But there's so many prison scenes.
So many, and they're like, he's like, but where was the warden? They're like, Mama Morton, like. She
Queen
was the
Latifah
boss
was
of
the
jail.
was the- yeah.
Like, oh my god.
Queen Latifah
Queen.
was the warden.
Yeah, obviously. So Cher details a fun summer full of friends, ice cream trucks, and games, and you would
Amazing.
almost think that things are on the up. But
know.
wait a second.
What? Excuse me, you've skipped over my favourite.
What
bit.
is your favourite bit?
The bread truck.
I don't remember the bread truck. I remember
It was
ice cream.
the ice cream truck that came, and
yes.
then there was the bakery truck, and I'm like, what the fuck?
I don't remember a bakery truck.
Delivered to your door. There was a bakery truck.
Did you make that up?
Maybe.
Did you
I
dream
was
it?
reading it late at night. I might have
don't
fallen
remember
asleep
a bakery
and dreamed of the
truck.
bakery. There was a bakery truck.
Oh,
I'm going to dig it up.
Please, 'cause I don't
There is a
remember
bakery
this.
truck. There was the ice cream truck, which was exciting, and then there was the bakery truck.
maybe that was a read. What would you call it? An actual book exclusive. Because there are things coming up that are only in the audiobook, I discovered.
Oh.
Because I have the ebook on my phone that I flick through to double check names and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And certain things I'm like, she just said that in the room. She didn't. It's not in the
I'm
book.
convinced that Stephanie is improvising most of this.
Yes, I think so.
If Mum had money in her purse, G and I could buy a 10-cent popsicle from the Good Humour Man. It's the ice cream truck.
Okay.
Whose refrigerator truck played a melody as it drove slowly down our street. As soon as we heard that song, every kid would run to their mum and beg for money for a chocolate eclair or an ice cream sandwich. Better still was the Helms Bakeries man, who drove a large van and sounded a ship's whistle to let us know he'd arrived. Toot toot!
I remember that. I must have blacked out.
Like the Good Humour Man, he wore a uniform with a cap and tie, only his was khaki, not white. He came all year round. And as Mum had a sweet tooth too, we knew we'd stand a better chance of getting a treat if she came out to see him with us. His wagon had a gigantic pull-out drawers in the back, packed full of delicious treats such as frosted donuts, cookies, and my favourite, walnut squares with powdered sugar. 60 cents for an 8 by 10 inch tin. When he rolled them out before our eyes, I decided I wanted to marry him when I grew up. How did you miss
I don't
bakery
know.
man that she wanted to marry because he had a truck full of donuts?
That does seem odd. I don't remember any of that.
Stephanie, you left it out.
Stephanie, she probably did. That's probably me. I probably just had a nap
Stephanie
halfway through.
skipped over it. I was obsessed with the bakery man
God.
because I'm like, me too, Cher. I would marry a man that drove around in a truck full of baked goods.
I mean, it's nerve-wracking because a lot of people in Cher's family, mostly Grandma Linda, I think she married about 3 bakers in the end, including Anita Baker. So,
Anita Baker. Anita Baker does sound like a
drag queen, yeah.
That's really into croissants. Yeah. Anita Baker.
Yeah, Anita Baker. So, well, I'm glad we got that in because
Sorry,
I did
had
not.
to know. You had to know about it.
Well, that's good because it adds even more to the joy that they were feeling this summer. Which
They were having so much joy.
lulls
Cher was
us.
getting married to the
She's
bakery man that came
the
around in
muffin
his
man.
truck.
They have little Cher muffin babies. So we've been lulled into this like false sense of security, but then Georgia dumps Cher again. Oh no,
Georgia.
So Cher's dad, one of the many Johnnies, had been gone for about a year and had since married a 19-year-old named Jane.
Oh, good for you, Johnny.
Yeah. Everyone liked Jane, even Georgia. Jane, Georgia, Johnny, all of the sounds.
The
jizzes. And what's not to like with her polka dot dress, her pigtails, her little lisp? Adorable. Because she was 19. Even so.
With Cher's family and destroying the lives of teenagers.
Young Bill. Even so, with them moving back to Texas, Cher found it easier not to think about them. It's not going to think about them.
Don't think about it.
They were still in touch with Meemaw and Meepaw, though. So
I love
good.
Mamo.
So they came to the 10th birthday party where she got a cake and new bathers. Double digits, a DP of digits. That's where we're going. So she got a cake and new bathers. The one thing she'd really wanted, though, was an English racing bike because all of her friends had one.
Everyone had one.
And Cher never asked for one as she knew they didn't have the money. But it's too expensive.
No, don't worry about me. I'll be fine.
And I think both you and I can relate to that in our youth. I'm just not going to tell them that I want that thing because it's not going to happen. But halfway through the party, Georgia took off in the car and returned with a maroon and gold English racing bike.
Oh my God.
Cher was gagged and raced off immediately, leaving everyone at the party behind. The party behind. And she
that's Cher saying party.
Party. And she was gone for 3 hours. She's like, bye.
See ya.
See you later.
Wouldn't want to be ya. One of my favourite moments in this is Cher not understanding cause and effect. All of my friends had one, and then she gets the bike. She goes, I've never seen anything like it. But all your friends have got one.
Yes. Yeah. But this one had gold stripes. I hadn't seen anything like
Purple
that.
with gold stripes.
Yeah.
It was so different than an American bike because it was an English racing bike that all your friends have got.
Yeah. I had to Google it to figure out what it was, and I think it's the one where you just bent over more.
With the handlebars that go under.
I think so, and they're the worst.
Yeah, I know.
Give me one that, like, the handlebars are up here, and I'm just daintily, riding through with my basket.
I had a BMX.
Oh, yeah.
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 It was not comfortable.
I had something. I had something that was orange with black speckles, like from a toothbrush.
I know, mine was blue all over.
Okay.
It got stolen outside the peel when I was
So
when I was 19. Why was I riding my bike from when I was 10 when I was 19? Because I wanted to get bummed off by some stranger? Don't know.
Don't know.
I did have someone, I had sex with a friend's friend once who was like, I thought he was like...
That's always a good idea too.
masculine and grown up because I've been quite hairy since I was 14. And then he got up and rode home on a BMX. And I'm like, yeah, that was my thing.
I don't know how you could have ridden home, but...
Let's see, it was more comfortable after that. Anyway.
There actually was no seat, but it was still more comfortable. So, anyway. She gets her first kiss and liked it. All the boys start to give her...
I kissed a boy and I liked it.
The boys started to give her gifts and Cher wasn't mad.
No.
At the same time, Georgia was looking for her next husband, but did seem to slow down just a little, cutting off anyone she didn't like.
Yeah, very sensible.
She would also warn the girls off. So Georgia would warn the girls off, as in G and Cher, of getting into cars with strangers. Don't do that.
Strangers, girls.
But Cher, she wasn't worried because she was too shy and more concerned about the big fork bullying the little fork in the cutlery drawer.
I don't even know what that scene was about.
Nope.
I didn't understand it.
Nope.
It was a whole lot.
It was a whole lot. Later, Georgia decided to try out every religion. So Cher was...
I didn't understand this either.
No, see, I've gone through this. So Cher was dropped at church and then afterwards went to get some lollies at the store with friends. I would like to point out here that later when Cher goes to Catholic school, she's like, I'd never gone to Mass. It's like, clearly, you went to church.
No, because this was Lutheran.
Oh, was it? Is
yeah,
that different?
this was Lutheran. She mentioned that in the book.
Is that Luther Vandross? Is that?
Yeah, Luther Vandross's personal
Jesus?
church. Yeah. No, they're like the first ever Protestants. That they started the Protestant.
I don't know what that means either.
I want to believe in Jesus, but not the way you guys do.
Yeah, we do it differently.
Too much with your incense and your bloody Mary this, Mary that.
Eating your
Catholics.
wafers.
We went to Sunday school at the Salvation Army, which I suspect was because my parents are often hungover and wouldn't get out of bed on a Sunday.
Yeah,
and so
fair.
some old people would come and put us in their weird white hatchback and make us go to Sunday school.
That's so creepy.
I know.
With us, it was more... I think
it's
my
creepy
parents...
now that I say it like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, yeah.
I think it was my parents were going through a rough patch and Mum decided this will fix it. We'll just go to church and leave Dad at home. So off we'd go. And we'd get lollies after too.
Both my parents were in bed. Old people would come and drive us to the Salvation Army was next to our primary school.
Oh.
So at least we knew where to run away to.
I just remember the religious education people at our school were also the people who taught us sex ed. And that might have screwed a few things up. They were the least sexual beings you've ever come across. Like, it was... I'm surprised they weren't blushing while trying to explain it to us.
Well, that's why they got them to do it.
Yeah.
It's like, this will make no one do it.
Yeah, legitimately.
Imagining these two having a crack.
It's not okay. So they would go and
get... blow up this little balloon.
God. I'm ergoting a lot this chapter. They we'll go and get lollies afterwards because that's how you bribe all children to go to church. Which does sound great, except... It sounds great, except that they got licorice. Yuck.
I love
No,
licorice.
children should not
No.
like licorice.
I love licorice.
Then they made their
Mad
way.
for it.
They would make their way home. When Georgia went to collect them from church one time, someone told her they went off with some man, which freaked her out. But they were just at home having lollies.
Yeah,
Like they were just having their awful licorice. Like I don't know, Mum. What's wrong, Mom?
I don't know who the man was, but I've got a big black strap in my mouth.
His name is Theodore.
He's one of the chipmunks.
God. Oh, what is happening? Why? We're nearly at the end. So to get away from weird licorice pedophile land, work was scarce. So there were struggles. At one point, it got so bad that Cher and G had to go live with, I think it's actually Memor and Meepaw. Cher liked it at first because Paw taught her to drive. But the school she went to was rough. She's like, this is right, I don't like this. The girls were mean and would go around cutting people's hair and slamming their heads in lockers. Just normal girl stuff. Some skank even tried to fight Cher on the Oval, but thankfully Georgia showed up in the nick of time to drive her home.
Yeah.
She was like, I'm gonna beat you up, meet you on the Oval or wherever. In the quadrangle.
Otherwise, imagine if her face wasn't pristine at this
Exactly.
age. Like, imagine what she looked like now.
Probably still the same.
Trying to maintain that like half dent in the side of her face.
No, not a half dent. That's the worst kind of dent. So George has shifted the girls off to Meepaw's. And she's staying in town to be available for auditions. But Cher missed her terribly. Not G, though. She was loving Memo and Meepaw. Yeah. And, of course, the homos under the hairy lemon tree. Like, G's like, I am in heaven.
I love the hairy lemon tree. Where's the
tree?
Button box? Where's the button box?
Show me.
It's on Sven.
It's in Sven. That's what you mean. What were the names? Pete and Sam, I think it was. So this went on for 4 months. Yeah, they'd meet up weekly at a restaurant as Georgia didn't have a kitchen. So fair, that makes sense.
Couldn't be
bothered. Have a kitchen, so it couldn't be. Mainly, I couldn't be bothered having a kitchen. Yeah. Cher wanted to stay with her mum, and she didn't mind sleeping on the floor. But Georgia knew that child welfare would take her away if she was living there.
Yeah.
Cher went home and cried in the bath, and went on to hate baths for decades after this, which is sad because baths are great, especially with bubbles and naked men. Just
oh my God, I love
putting it out there. I love a bath.
In there all the time.
All the time. Imagine Cher baths.
My house in Reservoir has a bath bigger than one of the bedrooms.
Oh, does it actually?
It does. It's got a spa. This giant spa that's too big to be filled up by the hot water surface.
Oh, perfect.
I know.
See, my bath, which I'm sure you've seen in the corner, is too shallow to do anything with.
Oh, that's annoying.
It's annoying.
You get that in a hotel room sometimes.
Yeah.
You're like, this is like all I can do is
Cover my
maybe
knee.
if I've got an anal abscess, I can soak in some salt water. That's about the
How often is that happening?
At the moment, daily.
Oh, no, daily. Oh, God. Tom Daly. Wow.
I call her Absessia. She's very annoying.
Isn't
welcome to TMI with Adam and Phil.
Mostly with Adam. That does, though, on a quieter note, bring us to the end of the chapter.
That was amazing.
There's lots were going on.
Let's find out how we felt and find out what our professional opinions are.
Okay.
It's my professional opinion.
How did you feel?
Well, I'm enjoying Sassy Cher. Mm-hmm. I'm enjoying the Wanderlust, as it's called. The horse and train ride are a lot, but also hilarious. Like yes. I'm having many feelings about Anita Baker.
Yeah,
Anita Baker film.
And the other Baker, the Baker truck man.
Oh, the Baker truck man was honestly, when she's like, I wanted to marry him. I'm like, yeah, me too.
Yeah,
I want to marry this guy with a truck full of walnut slice. Riding off for 3 hours when you got a house full of guests, amazing.
Yeah, very
And also the
on-brand.
joy of mentioning double digits. Like when she goes, oh, when I hit double digits was even worse. Because remember when you were a kid, that was a thing? Like when you turned 10, they'd be like, oh,
ever gonna
double
happen?
digits.
Is it ever gonna
and you
happen?
thought, what is it? What happens at double? Nothing.
Yeah, nothing, literally
No,
nothing.
absolutely nothing. But you live with it for the rest of your life thinking something big must have happened and
Yeah.
you missed out on it
Yeah.
and no one told you the moment. But double digits was a big deal.
Yeah.
And all it was literally double digits.
Yeah,
Like, it's
two
just,
numbers.
Oh, I used to be 9 and now I'm 10.
Well, it's
That
like,
is all that
you know,
happened.
when you have a single P and then a DP, and then you're like, oh, what's a double or a triple DP going to be like? And you're just so destroyed by then. You really don't even notice. It's not that special.
How many P's are you getting in there?
Literally not one. Never.
I
Don't
did
touch me.
meet up with someone the other day who was talking about there was some couple in Melbourne that were renowned for being able to do the double DP because there's a bit of gymnastics involved.
A little bit. Yeah.
And he said it was one of the best things he'd ever done. And I'm like, mm-hmm, I can tell that you've enjoyed that because I'm barely touching the sides here.
I don't think anyone with a tummy can get into those kind of situations anyway. There's too much to maneuver.
Or unless, like, there's one tummy and then maybe one not tummy.
Yes. Yeah.
You could probably manage it, but you can't both have a tummy.
No.
Like, it's not for bears.
No, because when people wonder, like, several people with tummies have sex, yes, but it's instead of penetrating, they just run into each other and bounce.
Yeah,
and
which
it's like,
bounce off one
wee.
Yeah.
It's fun.
I've had some, like, being a big girl, I've had some really solid thigh fucking that I haven't had to worry about any sort of protection about. Also, it's like, yeah, I'm not cleaning back there. You just go in the thighs.
Oh, no.
I can get them close together. Not like a skinny girl.
Horrifying.
I can make quite a decent.
This is a lot.
Let's not talk
I'm
about
learning
this
a
now.
lot. Well, then, I mean, and in which case, you can have a triple DP quite easily.
Quite easily,
Yeah.
with my fat
On your
thighs.
thighs.
This is an oddly patchwork chapter, I would
Yes.
say.
Yeah.
Like moments coming in from everywhere. Like we meet Jake, next paragraph, Jake's
Yeah,
dead.
Jake's dead.
Mickey's bug phobia. His wife's legs are crushed and then she teaches dance.
We don't know. We don't all care why.
But I did love the reality for most people in showbiz. I know this is something we were talking
Yes.
about before we started. The putting on a brave face and saying everything's fine.
Yeah.
When in reality you are dropping your kids off at your grandparents and you're living in a shitty little bedsit and you have no kitchen and you have to eat 2-minute noodles for the rest of your life because you're not making it. And it made me think about how much worse it is now. Like this is what it was like in the 50s.
Yeah.
When it was a high-paying gig
Yes,
to be
yes.
on TV or in a film or to do nightclub work. Like, so many people are making, like, content for socials for nothing.
Yeah.
Like, people are doing gigs for... I don't know if I've told you this, but when I first came to Sydney to do a gig, as a professional gig, I'd been up here doing, like, tryouty spots and stuff. But when I first started working here professionally, would have been 99, 2000. I'd been on Hey Hey It's Saturday. I had some cash. Thank you very much.
Yeah, Harry Connick Jr. wasn't impressed with you, but
It was like they asked me to be on an episode with Harry Connick Jr., but I was like doing Rove that week, and I said, I'm doing Rove this week. Is that a problem? They went, yeah, it is, but
okay.
we'll get you on soon. Because I would have been on a show on a Wednesday and a show on a Friday.
Yeah,
It
so.
would have been weird. Anyway, I went... I came up here, did some gigs, and it was like 200 to 250 for a MC or a headline spot. And when I moved here in 2015, so that's like 15 years later, and the pay rate is still the same as it was then. It's $175.
oh, good, it's gone up.
So
Math.
it's 25 years later,
God.
and it is $25 less
Yeah, that's
in
how it
whole
works.
dollar terms. But back then, like a week of gigs, which is what, nearly $1,000, I could pay my rent for 3 months back
Yes.
then.
Yeah.
Nowadays,
Yeah.
I'm barely getting a week's rent.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I haven't done it for 5 years, but it's still how do people live?
I know. Well, they have 12 jobs.
Yeah, and you got to really...
Or they rely on other people too much.
But yeah, I feel like it's unsustainable. It's not something you can make a living out of. And yeah, I think if Gloria was an actor now, she would definitely have a lot of trouble raising children.
Gloria?
Gloria, I don't know why I thought
Estefan.
of Gloria. Gloria Estefan.
Gloria Estefan. Or Gloria from Modern Family. Either one.
Georgia. Why do I get Georgia and Gloria mixed up a lot. I don't know why.
Oh. Why not? It's fine.
But yeah, if Georgia was trying to make a living now, she would not be able to feed her kids. Like,
well, she can't anyway.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's true.
I definitely agree that there's so much happening in the chapter, but also nothing.
Yes.
I like that Cher is now starting to grow up. We're at the double digits.
Yeah.
There are some fun moments. We get some happy memories, which is always nice.
And a bit of personality.
And we do she does fill in the gaps of what happens next and so on.
Yes.
But it didn't really move anything forward for me.
No.
Other than knowing that Cher likes to run away. So that could have been a sentence, but no, we got a whole chapter on it.
What score did you give?
Oh, yeah. I went for a 7.
Yeah, same. 7.
Yeah. I was like, there's good stuff in here.
I was like, thanks for not being as traumatic,
yes.
trauma, as the
Trauma,
previous chapters, which have been hard work, but also traumatic.
Yeah.
Like, there's still trauma. Like, there's still like, how are these kids left alone so long?
Yeah.
How did no one question where they were when they went off on the horse and the train ride?
No.
And no one seemed surprised that they were in the next town over.
No.
Like 30 miles away. What's that, like 100 kilometers?
Imagine if Anita Baker had died.
I know. Imagine if Anita Baker had fallen out of the boxcar. Like, we could all be in trouble.
In my head now, it really is her. And I had to remind myself, it actually wasn't her.
It was Anita. We're going to call her Anita Baker.
Yeah.
Like, there's given how much we're going to be getting into name dropping as this book goes along, I'm happy with her being Anita Baker.
Yeah, perfect.
And I turn back down.
So my little turn back time moment is that I feel that Georgia should have moved in with Mama and Meepaw as well. And instead of staying in town for auditions, get another waitress job, which she's done before, and then save up the money to go back to Hollywood with your kids to then keep going to auditions to lessen the trauma.
Yeah, trauma.
Less trauma.
I know, but you know what it's like. Like, you have maybe 3 good years where you're in the right age bracket to get jobs. Yeah. And then it's like,
you're basically dead now,
Yeah. You've reached the age of 24. You were dead to us.
Goodbye. And in that family,
there's not enough makeup in the world.
Like, it is true. You're 24. You've got a 13-year-old. So you can't do it. God, what is your remix?
I don't know if I went any more of these stories fleshed out because none of them seem to really be worth it.
Yes. Yeah.
But also, I don't know that I wanted this many stories. Like, it's a delicate balance. Like, feels like so many barely expanded plot points. Mm-hmm. The girls with the scissors. Like, I want to know what happened.
Yeah.
Like, it's like when she said, they're chasing after us and they're going to get us with scissors. I'm like, A, what have you supposedly done?
Yeah.
B, why do they have scissors? Like, running with scissors is the worst thing that could ever happen. And these girls are clearly running with scissors. Yeah. Like, that's a lot. Like, I want more. I want to know everything about that situation.
Well, they stabbed themselves in the throat and bled out right there.
Like, just give me some context of running with scissors and cutting off your hair.
But
like,
any of them doing DPs with their thighs now, for example. Like, what happened to these women?
Also, did Cher's mum pick the other girl up? Did she pick up Anita Baker? Or did Anita Baker's parents come? Like, did they both drive separately, like they're neighbours? Or was it just like, can you go and get our daughter? Because, you know, your idiot child probably did this because we know what she's like.
Yeah.
And how did Anita get home? Also, what this chapter is missing is more than just complete stories. where did Judy and Liza fit into this?
I know, I don't understand.
Like, she's set the bar too high now. I need something camp in every chapter.
Do you think that Liza is currently in front of the baker truck doing a little dance? That's
See,
how I
amazing.
picture it. Yeah. And Liza would
And
show
if-
up. Liza.
Maybe Anita Baker married the baker.
Yes, that's how
Maybe
she
that
got
was
the
her dad.
name. That's how she got the
Yes.
name Baker. Yeah.
How did she burn her foot on a sparkler? Like, that's just something that happens. She burns her foot on a sparkler.
Yeah.
And then that's all we know.
And there's
about
actually
that.
a lot of things like that I can't even get into the posh synopsis. 'cause
No,
they're so random.
otherwise it would be as long as the chapter,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is very long.
Yeah.
And also nothing happens.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
everything happens, but nothing happens. It's, yeah. I would just take one of those stories and make it an interesting story
Okay.
and then mention all the other things.
Yes.
But none of the stories felt like they were worth being fleshed out.
Yes.
Except maybe tell me how you burnt your foot on the sparkler and why those girls were running with scissors.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah.
So if you were to rename this chapter, what would you come
Well,
up
you know
with?
I'm going with songs.
Yes.
Just like Cher has. And I've called this one I Get Around.
Oh, yeah.
Like the Beach Boys song. She does. She goes many places
She does.
in this chapter.
I feel like
she
there's
goes-
several chapters you could call that because she does go a
Yeah.
lot of places coming up.
But this is like the beginning of running away and
Yes.
getting around.
Oh, Runaway. That could come up.
Runaway could be good if I wanted to do cause chat.
Yes. Which, let's face it, you always do. My rename, because I'm sticking with the sort of titles of children's books, but that are made up and about Cher, is Cher Steals a Horse.
Oh,
It's clear, it's simple. I want to read that book.
like horse theft is always amazing.
Oh, yeah. Now,
Well, I'm excited about this next bit because it's my
Oh,
favorite bit
okay.
of the entire podcast.
okay.
If I want to put my tits on my back, it's nobody's business but my own.
Yes, tits on my back. Where we find out our favorite Cherism from the book. Do you have like 7? Because you often turn up with about 22.
You know what? I've only got 2.
Oh,
So I'll
I've
give
only
you
got
my
2 as well.
Okay, I'll give you my main one, and then
Yes.
you give me your main one, which could be the same ones, and
Very
then
possibly.
I'll throw out any of the extras as you can too, if they're not already taken. So my Cherism and my tit on my back is when the girls are coming to cut her hair. She says that she doesn't want a haircut, not by a bunch of bitches who weren't trained. Like that's her issue.
I know.
Not I don't want my hair cut. It's just that they're not trained.
That was my second one.
Okay.
Because I was like, what? Especially not by a bunch of bitches who weren't trained. I
So
did.
funny.
Like, it's so funny.
Yeah.
Because, like, that's why I wanted more on the running with scissors.
Yeah,
and
why
trying to cut
aren't they
people's hair
trained?
off. I'm like,
Did they get
why aren't they
trained?
trained? Why were they cutting hair?
Where'd they get the
Had they had
scissors?
500 hours? Like, I needed all of that
Yes.
information.
Yeah. Were they hair cutting scissors or nail scissors?
Yeah.
You
Were
know?
they just like, those plastic ones that don't cut for shit? Like, I
Yes.
can't even cut hair. Like, you don't know what scissors they've got. Yeah, all those like serrated plastics, those,
Yes.
those
Yeah.
fabric ones. Yeah.
Maybe they were mum's good fabric scissors, and now you're
Oh my
using them to cut
God.
people's hair. I don't think so.
Yeah, Mum's furious. They could be chicken scissors, still covered in fat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so many scissors.
I mean, maybe the girls were chickens.
maybe
getting
they were all
revenge.
lesbians and they were going to scissor them.
Yes.
There was no actual cutting
Yeah.
of hair involved.
Yeah.
Maybe they were going to give them Brazilians. I don't know.
That'd be nice. Yeah, it's warm here.
You shouldn't do Brazilians if you're going to scissor. You'll suction together and never get apart.
That's
That's
the
not a true
point.
thing. That's made up.
Oh, is it? Thank God you told me. I would have thought that forever.
I don't know. I've never been down there. I don't know how that equipment works. My one, which, bitches who weren't trained was number 2. My number one was learning to ride the tricycle and looking up and saying, okay, I think I've learned all I can from these people.
That was my second one. Yeah.
Oh my God, we're evil twins.
I know. Oh, yeah. Because sometimes
love
Stephanie
that.
does emphasis on things as well.
Yeah.
So there are times where she says things, and sometimes they make sense, like in this case, but in other ones, she just says it on a sentence. You're like, I don't think that really needed that emphasis, but all right.
Oh no, that one was in italics. Okay, I think I've learned all I can from these people was in italics. So that.
Okay.
But that was like on page 1, like paragraph 2. Oh, yeah, you said Cher stopped after half a sentence.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. She literally was like, no, not this one. Even she was like, this chapter's a bit bitsy. I think I'm going to leave. But then another one coming up, she does like a good half of it.
Amazing.
Yeah. All right.
All right, let's get to the fluff and crap.
Fluff and crap.
All right. Do we have any fluffs and craps to...
I've got a
into?
bit of fluff. It's a text message from Brad, who is a long-time fan.
Yes.
Loves the regular verse for some reason.
Someone has to.
Someone has to. Brad says, I can't believe that you guys are dead-facing Cher in the very first episode.
Yeah.
Can't say dead-facing.
I don't know if you can.
But thank you, Brad. He says, speaking of dead face flesh, will that flesh-like make an appearance?
Which, that's right, because I forgot what that was. And then I had to remind myself where that flesh came from.
The Nicole Kidman fleshlight that was made out of the skin left behind after us.
And I think I'm the one who said it.
Probably. He says maybe the fleshlight can do the intro voiceover for Regular Victims Unit.
Oh, no.
He also sent through a potential storyline
Oh.
for Christine Lardy in space
Oh.
that may make it into a future episode.
Okay. Yes, because we don't do fluff and crap in Christine Lardy. So
We do not do fluff and crap. So
We
if we need
just
to
sit
talk
outside
Lardy,
of
we've
it.
got to talk Lardy here.
Okay.
Christine Lardy,
Talk
of course,
Lardy to
every
me.
Thursday here on Glitter Plus.
Yes.
Your home of fluff and crap.
Yes. Yeah.
Do you have any fluff and crap?
The only fluff and crap I have is, please, if you're enjoying yourself, go and give us a little rating and a review on the iTunes. Because we've, got these new shows, people need to hear about them. So
Yeah, people need to know about our new
please,
shows.
if you've jumped on board because you're a Cher fan, or you know a Cher fan and want to let them know, please do all of that. The liking and the sharing and the blah, blah, blah.
Yes, the sharing.
Share.
We want sharing.
Yeah,
if
DP
you can
of
give us some sharing. Share would be great.
Yeah.
Just a little share.
Remember Cher? What was it? Cher?
Share la femme.
Femme, yes. Yeah. I was like, it's a Mariah chapter. Cher la femme.
Give us some share. But yes, we'll be back next week with more Cher, more trauma. And more chapters with like 476 stories in them. So
Hooray.
I'm looking forward to all of Cher's life crammed into a chapter. All right, bye, lovelies.
Bye. Where am I? Who are these two fairies? Wagon Wheel with Toozy. Oh, it's a podcast? You've got to be fucking kidding me. I've got hair on my lips.
You've just eaten a really dodgy lasagna. What's in here?
It's the fermentation or
That's
whatever of the
bay.
gaze.
That's the bay leaf and a bit of thyme.
Yes, yeah. The whole soup in my mouth. Okay, let me start that again. Glitter Plus.